thing is, Americans, one of the things that fascinates me is that we tend to latch on to easy, recognizable data. And I think the one that was most costly was, oh, gas is $1.98 a gallon. Because that's something, and for the record, the average price the last time I checked was, according to AAA, was 3.15 nationally. The lowest price was 2.60 in Mississippi. So
Yeah,
anyone's
I
going to
saw
go
that
out
too.
and just as they're driving down the road, look at the gas station. There's nothing more transparent than gas prices, right? Everybody knows
Uh-huh.
what it is every day, where they are. So people are going to see that's BS. And to me, again, getting back to what you said, Kurt, about the expectations, it seems to me if you want to succeed in all the other stuff you're doing, you have to have a good economy. Now, whether that's the dark side of the coin, whether you're planning an authoritarian takeover a la Viktor Orban in Hungary, or if you just want it cover for some of the more controversial stuff that you're doing, you have to have a good economy. Because as you say, that's the number one criterion that people judge a presidency for. So I think from a strategic point of view, I just don't get it. And as far as the tariffs go, I think what was it, 90 days? So what does that give us till July 9th? And what's today?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
It's already a third of the
We
way
may
there.
have 9 by July.
Exactly. And we have one trade deal with our most steadfast ally, who happens to be our 8th largest trading partner. Nothing is going on with China. China very smartly knows they can
Oh,
wait
that's
us.
not true. Besant's meeting with China. I think there is a initial conversation happening finally, but it hasn't nothing real. You're right.
I'll believe it when I see it. I think China
Okay,
very
fair.
crudely is waiting us out. They know they don't have the consequences of elections. They're a lot better at dealing with pain than we are. And so I think, and they also know Trump's track record of flip-flopping. So I think time, they believe, is their ally. But what say you, Kurt?
Well, the one thing I was actually just gonna ask Ashley this because we've seen the vocabulary about the economy kind of shift from Trump to, well, there's going to be some inflation. Some things are going to be more expensive. Some things like your Barbie dolls, or you can have 2 or 3 instead of 30. Which I don't know anyone who buys 30 Barbie dolls, but be that as it may, the idea that, well, there's going to be some pain in that, and that it's okay. I'm not sure that's the best way to go message wise. Because again, that's such a drastic departure from the rhetoric that we heard from Donald Trump all throughout the campaign, which was everything's going to be great on day one, everything's going to be wonderful. And now he's saying, well, there's going to be a little bit of pain. I don't think that's what the American people signed up for, Ashley.
Well, no, and I don't think that no one needs 30 baby dolls. I mean, that's just not. I'm sure that there's a lot of people in the press room that were cringing when he said that and then doubled down and said it again. But listen, the problem is even when the economy was getting better for Biden, he couldn't, it was still hung around his neck in regards to he was owning it because no one believed that their day-to-day lives were getting better. So if all you Bidenomics. So if all you hear every day is we're either going into recession, the interest rate, I mean, exactly what you said, Kurt, it's just going to get into in your mind and you're going to start
Mm-hmm.
believing it, whether it's true or not true. It's just how people are going to feel. But that being said, the American people are very smart and they know if they go to the grocery store and eggs are still expensive and, their rent's still high and everything else, their insurance is high, that's going to be a problem. But, I want to say this, an ambassador was on a show with me recently, and he's been advising other countries on how to deal with Trump. And I think he's actually a Biden appointee. And he said that all of his foreign leader counterparts are saying, we don't take Trump seriously, but we take his words very seriously. And the
Mm-hmm.
ambassador said, no, 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 no. You need to do the other way. You need to take him very seriously, like he's not afraid to do stuff, but don't take his word seriously. And
Yeah.
so, I sit here and I'll stop talking, but I sit here and think, I'm not sure why any of us are shocked this is happening again, because it's the same thing that happened 4 years ago. I mean, he played this playbook once, not just
And
with tariffs, but just
he
his
told us exactly what he was going to do.
totally.
Like the first term, the first campaign, he said, whether it was retribution, whether it was the border, whether it was tariffs, all this stuff, he said he was going to do it. So what I find most incredulous is that uh, uh, people are surprised that he's doing what he said he was going to do. And just to go back to the other topic, Americans like things. We like a
Hmm.
lot of stuff, and we like, frankly, a lot of cheap stuff. And that's what China has done so well, and Walmart has done so well because there's a lot of stuff. So for a president, by the way, who's personally raking it in more than ever, we can talk more about that. But to pontificate to Americans that they need to cut back